Hi Libra, this is your August reading. Thanks for coming back to my channel and thanks for your support last month. We are in eclipse season and you're bringing the eclipse season to a closure in August 2018. We'll have the last eclipse in Leo this month. We'll have, in fact, the last eclipse in Leo involving the nodes for the next 19 years this month. You've been having eclipses in your area of social network and your position in the world and your sector of love, romance, children for the last 2.5 years. This is the last eclipse in that series. You had an eclipse on 27th of July, full moon total lunar eclipse at 4 degree Aquarius, which affected any planets you had in 0 to 10 degree Libra. So if you're a Libra sun born between 27th September to 2nd of October, it would have felt very personal to you. The most of the impact of that continued to trickle for the next 6 months, but especially in August. It happened in your area of self-expression, joy, romance, children, creativity, where Mars is also retrograde. And that full moon is when the moon is illuminated completely by sun. So sun was sitting in your area of social houses and it will continue to sit in your social sector, your friends, the networks that you're engaged in. It will continue to be there this month, but it threw a light to an opposite house, which is your house of self expression, joy, romance, children, and creativity, highlighting where you're not happy in that area, highlighting where there is a bit of tense energy with your loved ones, where the old hobbies that have been forgotten and left behind that you have not taken care of. Where are you not being taken care of emotionally in your love relationships? Where with your children are you not able to spend time, or you're not able to have the right strategy in terms of upbringing that you always thought you'll have? So the eclipse did not come alone. This, if it was purely full moon, you would have gotten completion, some sort of culmination in this area of romance, children, and creativity. But that full moon came with South Node. South Node emphasizes letting something go, something that has not been working so far for you in these areas, leaving that behind. Mars was a major player in that eclipse, and Mars in your area of love is a jarring energy. It adds anger, it adds a bit of tense, especially because it was retrograde. It was not moving in the direction it should. It's like having a hot, I don't know, a fire thrown in normally very tranquil waters. You are very cool, level headed, even a little bit detached in how you are in these relationships. You handle them with a bit of objectivity. Mars is not an objective planet, so when you throw Mars in the mix, there's a little bit of a foreign element playing there, which you're not used to. So it lit up that sector not in the right way, and Uranus played a role in that by squaring, having a hard aspect with it, which essentially gave an urge to make a change, a sudden change probably in these sectors, especially if you have any planets between 0 to 10 degree Libra, or you're a September born Libra essentially. So this little bit of urge to change, it could also be translated into a urge to bring some of this creativity and love back in your life, where you were losing power in your love relationships, where you are not standing your ground in the love relationships, or where you're not standing your ground with your children, or where you've forgotten how to have fun in some areas of your life. You were known and well known for some creative hobby earlier, and you have just let that go because your focus has moved over more towards your family, your career, the fourth and the 10th house axis. You are learning how to handle your joy side or pursue your goals in conjunction with taking care of your personal health. Large part of your focus will shift to pursuing your worldly goals from November onwards, and especially when eclipses start happening on your career and your home sector in 2019 onwards for next 2 years. So this is sort of you bringing the joy back in your life, and it's unfortunately not coming that easily because Mars is involved in it. But Mars also adds the energy required in this sector. Normally Mars would only be there for about 4 to 5 weeks in an area, but it is transforming your love sector since 16th of May, and it will continue till 12th of August, and then it will dip back again in September in that sector. So it's almost a 6 month of back and forth, and trying to go go remember what you would used to do earlier, or just make readjustments in this area for yourself. So my suggestion to you is take this as experience which is for your betterment. It's trying to help you. It's trying to create joy in your life. That's the end aim of it. It's trying to light up your social house again. Because you would get very busy with your work and house. Your house sector is already there's Saturn sitting over there, so you're already working very hard with your family, very hard on probably a place of living. So you'll be putting a lot more emphasis on these houses. This is your last eclipse for the next 19 years in this house. So it's to bring the joy back, bring your personal happiness back in what you do. You are also going to have Mercury will also be retrograde, and it's retrograde right now. Mercury is the planet of communication, and it goes retrograde very often. This year it will go retrograde 3 times. When a planet goes retrograde, it appears to move backward from Earth. Now, when it goes retrograde, it's a time of looking back and figuring out, are you utilizing the fruits of that planet well or not. So when Mercury is going retrograde right now, and it will stay retrograde till 18th of August in your house of in your social houses, in your house of friends and partnerships, and your position in the world. You are reviewing your social aspirations, your friends, because of the energy of the eclipse that happened on 27th of July, and the Mercury retrograde this year being in your partnership sector, and all the 3 retrogrades that Mercury is going to have this year. One it had in March, in your partnership sector, in your marriage partnership sector in March. Another one that you're having now in your friends sector, in your social sector, and then another one that you're going to have in your communication sector in October, November. You are reviewing, how do you communicate in your social networks, how do you come across, how do you handle your social networks. And Venus will go retrograde as well. Venus is your ruling planet, and it rules love, it rules everything that brings joy to you in your life, the people that bring, the relationships that bring joy to your life. So my reading of how the rest of the year is going to go from now onwards is, there's going to be a lot more emphasis on your relationships, especially figuring out how do you get joy out of your relationships. So there'll be a little bit of a review of that going on. Saturn is in your home sector as well, making you work hard on your family. So emotional fulfillment is a theme ongoing right now. But there's nothing to worry about. These are the things that you're setting right before you get too busy with your work from January onwards, which is going to happen because Libra, from next year onwards, you're looking to go towards more career advancement. It will push you, it will urge you, make you work much harder in that direction. And you've already got a glimpse of what's to come last month, because you had an eclipse in Cancer, which is your 10th house of work, that happened at the start of the month in July. You would have got some initial message in the last 1 month of how your new career plans are coming about, how your goals are coming about. This Mercury retrograde is also reworking your goals. It's also asking you to rework what your social goals, what your make the big wealth goals are in life. So you're trying to get your personal life in order before you move on and put all your energy there in work. Sun is in Leo. It's a very social time for you, hanging out with friends, going on parties, barbecues, social invites galore. That's the time for you. Venus is in your sign, so you're your natural charming self. So it's a very joyful and happy time. It's summertime. Your season is coming soon when you'll change the weather. You're a cardinal sign. That's what you do. You are networking, meeting people, creating a community for yourself, spending time with your children. It's also time when fresh energy is infused into your dreams. You are planting seeds for your future. Maybe a new idea, maybe a new thought on how you want to make your big wealth going forward. Maybe a seed of a new venture which you don't have full information on right now, but on 11th of August, and the run up to it, there's a lot of thinking, because the 11th of August eclipse is exactly in this area for you. There's a lot of thinking, there's a lot of meeting of the people on your new goals and ambition, maybe discussions with your boss on what your next level is supposed to be and how you should be working towards that. If you have your own business, then you're thinking about who should you network, who should you meet, which are the people who should be working or partnering with you further. Libra, you work much better in a social situation. Your social houses are all fire signs, are ruled by fire signs. These are the areas which bring you happiness. You go after social houses, and you friends is what brings you joy. Leo is the sign of joy, and it's sitting in your friends sector. So you're looking at what are your set of friends who can help you get to this next level as well. Who can you partner with? Who could you work with? That's where 11th of August solar eclipse in Leo at 18-degree Leo is for you. So if you have any planets between 14 to 24-degree Libra, that is, if you're a Libra sun, then you're born between 8 to 18th of October, you see positive effects. This is a very beneficial eclipse which is coming through. All the eclipses that we have been having through and through now, ultimately they are for your benefit because they accelerate your growth. But this eclipse specifically comes with a touch of gold of Jupiter, which is a very lucky planet, and it's coming with full awareness. So if you have any planets between 14 to 24-degree of Libra, so if you're a Libra sun born between 8 to 18th of October, you see positive effect of it in the most tangible way. The tangible way being a new social network coming across to you, new set of friends coming across to you, new goals. Now this eclipse is taking the bearing from the last solar eclipse that you had in July start, which was in Cancer in your area of work. So the light was thrown on you at work. So maybe somebody picked out what was going on best for you at work, and a new set of goals are thrown your way which will benefit you in monetary terms going forward, or they're letting you know that you'll be moving to the next level at job, so you start working towards that. Those kind of new goals are put forth to you. If you are a Libra born between 8 to 18th of October, or 14 to 24-degree Libra, you have any planets in that in those degrees, you see a tangible effect. But for most of the Libra, you feel this as a pleasant knowing of what's about to come, what's about to be sown, because you know that a wind of change on your career front is coming, and the climb up is inevitable. At the very least, you need to give it a try. You need to give it a good shot as this energy pans out for the next 6 months, and is really active for the next 2 months, where there's a lot of discussion around your goals. Mercury is going back and forth in that area. Sun is shining the light on your social networks in the area of longer term goals in life. So it's a good time, and it's not a surprise. Mercury has been in this area for whole of July, though it went retrograde on 26th of July. So since 26th of July, some doubts might have started coming up about your ability to meet those goals, your ability to be able to perform up to the mark required by those goals. So a lot of reworks, reconsideration, doubts, etc., all of that will be coming back and forth. Don't worry about those. Those are part of the process. Those doubts coming up, those rethinking about how to go about it, etc., all those details will start filling in after 19th of August, when Mercury will go direct. But since 9th of August or 8th of August, you'll see that flurry of activity of those discussion around your social networks, etc., would have come up. There are 6 planets right now which are retrograde right now, so it's just not you. Every sign is facing that. The lack of clarity is very evident when the planets are retrograde. The energy is not clear. You know where you're going, but you don't know the details right now, which is very normal. Jupiter is squaring this eclipse, giving you a big bright hug. Jupiter is a planet of luck and expansion in your house of self-worth, net worth. Jupiter is normally a very, very feel good, happy planet, and especially when it comes in contact with your moon, which it does on 11th of August, it's a very feel good, over the top energy. It's also, moon is in Leo, it's anyways over the top. and it can give a sudden rush of positivity. It's squaring you, so it will come, you know that work is coming, but it still makes you feel very confident, happy. Sun meeting the Jupiter is a very confident, hyper energy. But Jupiter in Scorpio is very, very different from a normal Jupiter. Jupiter in Scorpio is wants to grant you good things, wants to heal you, but first it wants to bring out the wounds. That's what it has been doing since March, when it has been sitting in your money houses, in your worth houses. Jupiter this year till November is in your money house, self-worth house, net worth house. So since March, when it went retrograde, it was bringing out all the issues in these areas first in light to you. Where are you not getting paid enough? Where are you not getting your worth in personal relationships, in love relationships, or in work relationships? All of those issues, it has been picking on the wounds, showing you all the wounds of self worth and net worth out in the open, because it wants you to be pushed to heal it. It wants you to be pushed to ask for that money. It wants you to be pushed to assert yourself in your relationships, which you are anyways doing with Mars in that sector. So it's not going in a very cordial way, but it's trying to bless you financially and in your self-worth by the end of this year. Jupiter is now direct. It went direct in July, and now the fruits of that labor, of that analysis, of that hurt coming in the open is supposed to come through. It's squaring this eclipse on 11th of August, and for the next 1.5 month, when this eclipse is really live and thriving, it's adding enthusiasm, confidence in you to pursue these goals. All this thinking, rethinking, which you're having because of Mercury being backward, Jupiter helps add some much needed confidence in you to go after your goals, to go after the right networks, going in bold. Overthinking is there, and some of it is required because you need to be sure about how to go about it. Don't overpromise yourself. Don't promise others. There's a lot of work to be done. You know that. Just stay your balanced self. That's how to use that energy. That's how you can use that energy for a very small set of you, because there was an eclipse that happened in August 2017 in the opposite side of your love relationships and joy. If there was a loss in that happened, that you faced over the last 1 year, that you've been reeling under, this eclipse on the opposite side is supposed to heal that. It's supposed to act like a balm on those wounds. Venus, your ruling planet of utter charm and beauty, harmony, balance, moved into your sign on 6th of August, just before this eclipse. It's a very happy energy. It's giving you the much needed ease in your love, marriage, happiness, even wealth sector. It's there for an extended period. It's going to come back in your sign again in September. There's going to be, because Venus will undergo a retrograde. It's your ruler. It affects you the most when it goes backward, and that's what will happen in the coming months. I'll talk about it more in the September video because it's more of a September theme. But just know that Venus is here to bless you with its charm for a longer period of time. It's trying to help you in this new start in the social networks. Now, when I say social networks, it's business networks and your friends, but if you, because Saturn is sitting in your 4th house, there is a high possibility that of you relocating and working on your house as well. So when you're being blessed through this eclipse by being rewarded with a new social network or by new goals, there's also a possibility of these being personal networks that you're creating because of relocation that has happened. And Venus helps you get your charming self out to a larger set of people. Also, if you're in any media field, or in a field where you have to work with a larger set of people, Venus in your sign and this eclipse throwing the charm across to your social network side is another very positive energy to have if you're addressing a large set of people. Do not, if possible, have any operations or any procedures related to heart around this eclipse, because it's a Leo eclipse and Leo rules hearts. So from 11th of August plus minus a few days, try to stay off. Anyways, during eclipses, it's suggested not to do any major procedures. So let's talk about what comes after the eclipse. On 12th of August, Mars moves into Capricorn. Mars is still retrograde. It dips back in your fourth house for a month, bringing something back to redo related to your home. Maybe probably some work that you did in your house mid of May. It might be revisiting, reworking of that going on for the next 1 month. It's a month of effort, extra time and energy with your family, some maybe old forgotten relatives coming back, or as I said, pure repairs on a house that you have acquired or a property that you have acquired till a month. Saturn is also there and it's also retrograde till 6th of September. This can feel like a lot of work as you restructure, reorganize, especially till 27th of August. It would feel tough. Tap into your charming Venus self when dealing with family, people who are helping you out in your repair, building in terms of building your house or repairing your house. We are seeing it ourselves. My husband is a Libra, as I said before. We are seeing it. We are seeing repairs on our house coming forth, and I know that it will come back again to bite us in August. Rome wasn't built in a day. Saturn is there. Just do the work. It will yield long-term asset to you. It will get your foundations right. That's what the fourth house rebuilding and reworking with Saturn sitting over there, Pluto sitting over there, and Mars sitting over there is doing to you. It's trying to build a very strong foundation, and I'll explain in a bit why you need that strong foundation. People involved with irritate you. I'm especially warning the early Libras, 0 to 10 degree and September born. This is gonna irritate you a lot. Just get your foundation right, but after 27th of August, reworks will look easier, things will go much smoother. Stick with it, do the work required right now. I'm requesting you to do that, especially if it's related to your home, mom or family. It just needs a lot of work right now. The thing is, whatever and why you need to build a strong foundation is because right now Uranus is trining your Saturn. This is a positive aspect. Uranus is in your house of transformation, Saturn is in your house of family. They're sitting very positively to each other, as are most of the outer planet. Outer planets are all sitting in positive energy with each other. This is a very unique year. After many, many years, all the outer planets, Jupiter trining Pluto, Jupiter sextiling Pluto, Saturn trining Uranus, Jupiter trining Neptune. All these outer large planets, they are in positive energy with each other, helping in creation, helping in material manifestation. Earth energy is highlighted. So rebuilding of the house is really encouraged this year. Come 2020, whatever you're building right now will be heavily tested. I know 2020 feels far off right now, but the foundation of what's going to be tested in 2020 for early Libras, that is being built in this year. And for Libras, after that, it will be built over next year. So that's why I'm suggesting that you take care of it. Also, the eclipses for the next 2 years will be in your area of family and place of living with the South Node over there, which is a sign of letting go. So whatever you don't want to let go, just rework, put the effort on it, build it to have a sound and strong foundation. Whether it's your family, it's your mother's health, it's your house, just do the work required in it. Uranus sitting in 8th house is not a negative energy in my view. Uranus, yes, sitting in 8th house, Uranus is a planet of freedom. It wants to bring about change. So when it trines Saturn in the 4th house, it's trying to bring some newness, new transformation in your house of living. It's like buying an old house and adding new bells and whistles to it to make it look amazingly beautiful. Uranus wants to bring about innovative changes in you, because Uranus in 8th is a sign of transformation. The issue with that is, and it just happened in May, Uranus has entered 8th house, your 8th house of transformation only in May, after a decade of staying in your marriage partnerships, bringing about innovative changes to the life of your partner or bringing about innovative partnerships to your life. Now the aim of Uranus is to add some excitement, some change, some freedom in how you manage joint partnerships. How do you manage debt coming from other people? How do you manage joint finances? How do you manage financing coming from other institutes for your business ventures? How do you manage taxes? How do you manage inheritance? And also, how do you manage power struggle in relationships? The aim of Uranus is to make you have some freedom in all of these areas and give you some innovation. And the process starts internally right now because Uranus is retrograde. So if you are internally working through how to make these things, power struggles in your relationships work better, you can see some changes in your partner finances coming in. Saturn is trying to have you a strong foundation so you can handle those partner joint finances changing, whether it is through a relationship change with your partner, or whether because Uranus in seventh unfortunately sometimes does yield in separation of marriage partners. So what follows that is usually the divorce procedures. So Uranus in eight sometimes does that. Unfortunately, for a very limited set of people, it can turn out in that way. It can also be sudden money coming in from joint ventures with other people. So you're trying to build a very strong your foundation, which is what Saturn is trying to do in fourth and Mars is trying to do in fourth. It's trying to help you build your foundation strong so you can take these sudden changes coming about that Uranus is going to bring to you over the next couple of years. Uranus is also in a fixed earth sign. You have nothing in common with a fixed earth sign. You are a cardinal sign, you are a air sign. So when you have nothing in common with the planet's element in which planet has moved, it's called an in conjunction in astrology, but essentially it feels like a foreign element entering your life. You're waking up to a planet that you a side of universe that you didn't know you had. You're waking up to power you did not know you had. Some of it could look like very rebellious, out of your skin character acting to the people who are very close to you, especially if you're born between 23rd to 27th September. You would have already seen some of that acting up energy. I'm sorry to call it like that, but yeah, it's just your personal relatives will call it you acting out of your skin. You're bringing in the new, the bold to your life, and Pluto is doing the same in your foundation. So just work with the regeneration energy that it's bringing to you, and work very hard on your house, and if you're creating any physical assets for yourself. Now let's discuss the beautiful energy of the tide turning. The second half of the month is completely different. Within a week of the eclipse on 18th of August, Mercury goes direct in your social houses, and on the next day, 19th of August, Mercury and Venus are together. It's a great social aspect to have Mercury and Venus especially sitting in your sign, joining Mercury, the house of communication, sitting in social houses. This is great to be out and about. Mercury will also revisit 18 degree Leo on 29th of August, so it will revisit the eclipse point on 29th of August, when the messaging that you have received on your goals that you were not very clear on, or who should you network and go out with it to create this next set of your career goals, will come to clarity on 29th of August. All the blessings that were being promised from the eclipse come to more clarity after Mercury goes direct. Mercury retrograde and new moon in 11th house, although highlight your social groups, friendships, it will also manifest in your 5th house with Mars, South Node, last eclipse there in your love house. You are releasing drama of romance, learning to love with freedom, and giving your partner the requisite freedom. From 19th of August, as Mercury enters your 11th house, it's also a flow of innovative ideas about your hopes and dreams. So if you have your own business venture, it will give you a good boost in terms of getting some new ideas about it, some new social networks coming into place till early September. Take advantage of that. Then on 19th of August, another beautiful aspect that goes live is Jupiter in trine with Neptune. Now this is the third meeting of these two planets, and they're not going to be trining again for the next 150 years. It's great for your physical well-being. It's great for gains at work, because the two houses that are being combined together with these two benefic planets is your money and self-worth house and your work and health house. So you're bringing healing to your work, you're bringing healing to your health with this. Jupiter is in your self-worth and money houses. Neptune is went retrograde on June of 18th and will stay there till end of November. You become much more astute at picking up any illusions, any issues at work, even hidden enemies at work or health that you might have been missing, which have not been showing themselves and open to you. Your perception is very keen, and make good use of it till November to pick out and heal the issues in your health, heal the issues at work, because these two planets will stay together and help you. They're together for this month, from 11th to 25th of August, but they're exact on 19th of August. If there has been any issues in health that have been brought about, Jupiter in second is also about healing foods. It's about correcting your diet. It's about healing with diet. Any delusions that you had about diet, you are going to see that, and this should help you heal that through food. It's about getting into the right diet, eating the right resources, because Jupiter is expanding both your material resources, also what you feed yourself. It's hence blessing your work and health life. This especially benefits 12 to 18 degree Libra. So if you're born between 5th to 12th of October, this is the most benefic aspect for you, and there's not a better aspect to have for yourself. Venus in first and Jupiter in second house can be very indulgent time, so careful of too much spending and too much eating or drinking during this time. Your diet and money is undergoing some very blessed and very good time, so just receive the benefits that are coming from it without going to the edge of it, which Neptune delusion sometimes can do. Thankfully Neptune is retrograde right now, so you naturally should stay out of it. 23rd of August, Sun moves into Virgo, your 12th house. This is a restful, staying under the radar, working behind the scene kind of an energy, because you're getting ready for your birthday season. You become more focused on what's to be cleared out, what's the junk, what's not feeding you anymore, getting more into restful period, fantasy, sexual pleasure time. Now, this pleasure sun comes into a trine with Uranus and Saturn on 26th of August, forming a Earth Grand Trine. Earth Grand Trine is an easy flow of energy between three planets, and here it is between Sun in your house of subconscious, pleasure house, Uranus sitting in your transformational house, and Saturn sitting in your family and home sector. Now, these three work in unison in positive energy, easy energy with each other, giving you the much needed respite from a very tough period emotionally. This is affecting all your emotional houses in a positive way, giving you a grounding and happy energy. Saturn and Sun working together in unison with each other. If you've been working hard on your house, this gives you a pleasureful, nice place of living, a restful place of living where you can enjoy before your birthday period comes into place. If you've been working with your family and working out the relationship kinks that you've been facing, this gives you another restful period because of that. Uranus in 8th in unison with Saturn, we spoke about it before, you adding something new, some new transformational energy to your old house, to your old way of being with your family, your old way of getting emotional fulfillment. So there is some spark of newness in this trine, besides just the pure, easy and happy energy that a Earth Grand Trine gives. And then obviously Sun and Uranus coming together, that's a spark in your sensual houses, in your sexy houses. So all of these working together are giving you the much needed tangible improvement in your home or family life, because of the work that you've been putting through. And the sweet return of that comes in form of a full moon on the same day in Pisces at 4 degree, giving a gift to early Libras, which were most affected by the eclipse of 27th of July, which shook their love life, which shook their creativity. They are benefited the most from the full moon in Pisces at 4 degree on 26th of August, which will have effect for the next 2 weeks. Pisces full moon is very intuitive, it is emotional. The aim of it is to give you some sort of closure at work, some sort of closure in your health, a positive closure at it, because it's in positive energy with Uranus and Saturn. It's forming a kite configuration with the grand trine I just talked about. Kite configuration gives you fated positive results at work and health. It's the much needed result, much needed opposition. So full moon is opposition between Sun and Moon. Sun is sitting in your 12th house of a subconscious restful period, and moon is sitting in bang opposite to it in the house of your day to day, in your house of work and health, in taking care of these sectors, the activity sector. So that opposition, which is already, that house is already getting blessed by Jupiter trine with Neptune, you see some tangible positive effect of that coming about in your work sector, tangible coming about in your health sector. Your work and health sector are truly blessed this month because of the work you've been putting in, and the family houses will be blessed if you continue to put the work in that. There is some jarring energy in your love life that I talked about earlier. More of that coming in terms of respite in September. We'll talk more about it in September. Good luck to you for this month. Thank you for sticking with me. I very much appreciate your support. Thank you.